Ken, because I understand where you're coming from, because I think we go through this every 2 years, you and I. But my only concern is that if you don't vote for a Bill Schuette instead of a Gretchen Whitmer is going to put more effort and money into those things that you don't like, maybe 40, 60% into Planned Parenthood or an LGBT thing that you disagree with, whereas Schuette may only be 10%. I don't know.
I understand the Planned Parenthood comment, but the LGBT, I believe that any person, any citizen in the United States deserves their full rights as human beings protected. And that means that any gay person, any transgendered, whatever that means, anybody of any persuasion walking around has the protection of the government from intimidation, robbery, theft, assault, whatever. It's the question of special rights, putting them at the head of the line.
Well, that was how we got same-sex marriage. That's how we allow gay couples to adopt babies. No, I can't agree. If you're gay, lesbian, transgender, I don't think you should have any special rights. I'm of the old school that I think that if you fall into those categories, I would make that behavior mental illness and not give them special rights, not give them any rights.
Let's make the distinguish rights or special rights.
Yeah. Take it when it comes down to the law. Take it always back to the Constitution. Constitution says we're all equal under the law. I don't care what your transgender issue, whatever. I will draw the line. Don't bring in that pedophilia and anything else. If you bring that, you're going to jail.
How about sodomy or bestiality?
There's no way you're going to convince me that a gay, lesbian, transgender couple should have the right to brainwash a baby. So I would definitely be opposed to adoption.
Yeah. Okay. And you're entitled to that.
Again, same-sex marriage. No way, Jose.
Well, you're right, and I agree with you there. That's a special right, though, because it just flies against our founders talked about nature and it's the laws of nature, and that flies in the face of the laws of nature.
Why is the government involved in marriage? Period.
To legitimize inheritance.
Donald Trump, when he ran for president, I would have not voted for him if I saw this before the election. But when I saw the picture of Donald Trump standing right next to an LGBTQ flag, that was like, what are you doing, Donald?
Yeah. Well, and you're entitled to that opinion. Well, thanks, Ken. I appreciate it. You always bring up these really big issues, and one of these days we'll have to have a whole show on that. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate the call.
See you, Ken.
Okay. So Ken always brings it up. I wish you'd call earlier in the show.
Well, I'd like to talk about government and marriage.
Yeah, we need to do a full show. And if we're going to do that, though, in fairness, I would like to get somebody from the LGBTQ community in here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to do that, let's do that question right. Because for me, I always take it back to the Constitution. If you're gay, that's fine. You're gay. If you're transgender, whatever, what you do is what you do. That's you. Don't force it on other people. And I see where Ken's saying, well, yeah, but the gay people are going to make their kid gay. I don't know that that's true. I really don't believe that's true.
Often they rebel against that.
Yeah.
They often rebel against it.
They often will.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's more damage from our own school system and our own university system than there would be from gay parents, right? You may have gay parents. They're probably not getting – that kid is not getting any more brainwashed than what you're getting at the university level right now. You know, that's brainwashing in our school system, our public schools, not all public schools, some public schools, you know. And if you were listening to Gruber earlier this week, right, there was something going on out in Grand Rapids. A lady called in with the most inane questions that somebody was telling these kids who'd already just walked into school. It's only the first few days. And they were being brainwashed by this teacher with a bunch of anti-Trump, anti-Republican literature. And I'm like, how is that allowed in our public school system? Enough. Stop that nonsense. That
sounds like Ashampton, you know.
Yes.
Well, you know, with what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Our school system needs to concentrate on the facts and stay the heck out of politics.
Maybe teach some real American history, too.
Teach the real American
civics,
history.
The Constitution.
And as ugly as it is, I want to know about the Civil War.
And English.
Because you know what? Those of us who forget the past
are doomed
to repeat it. And that alone should be why we don't tear down Confederate statues. Those Confederate statues should sit there and people can say, "Who is that, Daddy?" That's a man who was fighting for the South in the Civil War. He may or may not have, I point the guy out. He may have been a pro-slavery guy. If that's the case, you point him, that was a pro-slavery guy. Don't be like him.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean? You point to it and say, don't be like that guy. He was a bad guy.
Yeah.
But don't tear it down.
Well, it's like Federer was on a few weeks ago, and we were talking about Andrew Jackson, and the founder of the Democrat Party. And yet you find this guy now I can't remember his name, on Fox. He had a special about Andrew Jackson, basically talking about what a great American hero he was. At the same time, I'm thinking Trail of Tears. And what Bill Federson pointed out said when I pointed that out to him, he has all these flaws. He says, yeah, people have flaws. People have good things they've done. You got to recognize both. The same with these statues you're talking about. We got to look at both sides of that. It's a discussion point.
It should be, and that's what's disappeared here because it's not even discussion.
No,
on Facebook, I get these intolerable. If you haven't been on Facebook recently, the craziness of the liberals on Facebook is just astounding. I'm like,
I can't go to the Ipsy area group anymore. The Ipsy area group, I bowed out of that. These people are just insane. They're all liberals, except maybe a handful of us. Steve Taylor, I'm shouting out to you. But, for the most part, it's like, wow, I can't believe you think like that. There's no reasoning with you. And besides, I try and reason, and then you come back ad hominem against me. Attack my person when I'm being reasonable and polite. I don't need that anymore. I'm out of it.
I try to put out facts. And the one that really killed me was I saw a bunch of people who said they went over to Fox. And Fox was ignoring the Trump, Cohen, Manafort things that happened this week. I'm like, I don't know what time you turned it on.
Oh, no.
Manafort and Cohen was all over Fox almost every minute of the day. So don't tell me that Fox isn't covering that stuff. But what is a fact is that MSNBC and CNN were not covering the death of Molly, right? And when they did, they had somebody saying, this is not an immigration issue. It's a woman's issue because she said no to this guy.
Yeah.
That dude he was a low-life piece of excrement from another country here illegally. And he doesn't have the values of America that women should be left alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's because, look, when you import the third world, you're going to become the third world. It doesn't get any simpler than that. You keep bringing in people to this country who don't have the values and the civilization that we have, then you're going to end up with people trying to tear our civilization down. That's what happens.
Soothing music.
Am I red?
Yes, you are.
Sorry. All right, folks. Well, anyways, that's what happens when you give Gary a week off. He comes back and it gets absolutely crazy. So,
ready to vent.
Last thing, we got a minute here. If you have some excavation work you need done, call Mike Kuzma, 248-789-7619. That's 248-789-7619. Dig It Services, LLC. All right, see you next week.
Next week.
Yep, bye.